Welcome to Red V TV, supported by A-Star Recruitment for the 2022 season. And we are into single figures as we build up to the start of the new Super League campaign. And we've only 9 days to go. It can only mean one man, one legend. Kevin?
It's James Roby.
James Roby, proudly sponsored for the 2022 season by Vinyline Graphics. A local company who have sponsored Mr. Roby for a very long time, Kev.
Yeah, they've sponsored him pretty much all through his career, haven't they? Always stuck with him. So good on them for doing so.
492 appearances in the Red V. He should rack up the 500 pretty early on. He said himself this is likely to be his last season, or he's 90% sure that it's going to be. Do we hold out hope on that 10% though?
Yeah, I think you do. I think with Joey Lussick coming into the club, you just can't say that it's definitely, until he says it is definitely his last season. You're going to hold on and hope that there's one more in him. And to be honest, it wouldn't surprise me if in another 10 years we were still talking about James Roby going round just once more again.
Well, yes, indeed. You just can't imagine a Saints side without him, can you? He seems to be there forever. We've got fans of the club who are turning 18 this year. Even some older will never remember a Saints team without James Roby in it. That's how long his longevity has gone on, and he is an absolute machine. He said himself, he sees this 2022 season as a chance of him basically like handing over the baton to Joey Lussick and him being there to support him as well. But what a pair to work in tandem at the hooking position.
Yeah, definitely. That's it. It's we've been spoiled through the time we've been watching Saints with Kieran Cunningham and James Roby in tandem, and then since Kieran Cunningham retired, we've not really had that, have we? There's been numerous partners that have been there for James, and no one who's kind of quite pushed him enough for us to keep hold of them as a partner. Joey Lussick has come in, and as you say, James has said, it's the baton being passed, and our hopes are with Joey to kind of go on over the next couple of years and become a Saints legend. But yeah, listen, Joey Lussick needs a tutor, which he probably doesn't, but he can look at this man. He can look at how he handles himself, how he projects himself, how he turns up every single week and gives it his all, and has done all the way through his career. People might forget he's played wing for Saints, he's played half-back for Saints, he's been everywhere, he's played 13. He is a club legend. There is absolutely no doubt about that this man is a bona fide club legend.
Yes, you can see another statue going on another corner of the stadium when he finally does hang his boots up. How do you see the minute split going for him this year, Kev? Do you expect to see him be the starting hooker, or do you think he'll play most of the season coming off the bench maybe now? In relief of Joey Lussick, maybe do you go with the younger man, or do you start with Roby early on?
I think we'll start with him. I think it'll be a big mix. So I think some games he will be on the bench and Lussick will start. I think sometimes Lussick will do 80 and James will get a week off. Same the other way. I can see James still doing 80 minutes when necessary. But to start off with, I can see James getting some minutes in. And starting the games and laying the platform. We speak about the likes of the props doing that. Well, James Roby will also do that. With him being our captain as well, I can just see him leading us out. For the big games, I think he'll start. But I think once you start getting to teams who, whether it be home games against teams who are struggling down the other end of the bottom end of the table, or teams where you think, well, we can afford to give James a little bit less time. I can see Joey taking over though.
We just don't want it to end.
No.
No. Do you know what? The mad thing is, James Roby would still be pretty much the starting hooker for every other club in Super League. You can bring your McShanes and the likes, but I would not swap any of those for James Roby. Unfortunately, the World Cup got postponed, so we brought an end to his international career. But that probably helps us in terms of focusing on his club career. I just want him to get the record in appearances, and that would mean him going round again. And that's probably why I keep mentioning it, because I want to get it put into the heads. Because his level of performance over the last 2-3 years, it hasn't really dipped. It may not be it's never going to be at the heights he was at his absolute peak, but the last 2 or 3 years, he's played at a consistently good level still. And you just don't see that drop off. His body might be feeling it, but it's not showing in his performances.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's just with how he is as a player. He knows what he can and can't do. When he knows that he can't start going around doing 50 tackles every game and getting 200 meters from scoots, but he's still clever. He's still got the rugby brain about him that, listen, he'll take it out to dummy half and he'll kick long. Doesn't always find touch. But you know what? He makes teams kind of think, what's he going to do? Is he going to pass? Is he going to go? Is he going to kick? And all of a sudden, you put that doubt in the mind. And as you say, he's never dropped his standard. And that could be why he's looking at finishing, because he doesn't want to be that. He's just playing for a record, and he's getting picked on. We've spoken about it so many times. He's getting picked on sentiment. He probably wants to go out at a level that is on his terms. He's not going out, or all being equal, he's not going out as someone who's kind of dropping through the squad numbers, and he's just getting wheeled out for 2 or 3 games a season just to keep putting numbers on a board. I think he's going to want to go out at the pinnacle that he can do, but when he's ready. So he probably could have gone at the end of this season, or last season, sorry, and said, well, I've won the double here. There we go. There's no greater feeling than going out with the Challenge Cup and the grand final ring, winner's ring. But you know what? I think he's not quite ready to call it a day. And that's why he's gone round again. Try and get 4 in a row, obviously. Try and get another Challenge Cup if possible. I'd love him to break that record, but I don't really think that's what he's all about. I think he's all about the team and what's right for the team rather than what's right for James Roby at times.
To be perfectly honest, Kev, as long as James Roby has got a playing contract at the club, I can't see him ever dropping through the squad numbers. I don't think they ever take the 9 off him until he decides he's hanging up his boots.
True. But this is it with squad numbers these days. If he was going to become second or even third choice hooker, but still stick around, they don't tend to hold on to shirts. You do see people getting dropped through the squad numbers. It's happened to the likes. Look at Paul Wellens. Paul Wellens didn't stay as number 1 for all his career. He dropped down. Did he drop down to like number 17? I think it was, or something like that. So listen, he's going to go out on a high. Even if, you know what, if we don't win anything this season, he's still going to go out on a high, because he's still going to go out as one of our greatest players. He's going to go out as captain of that 3 in a row champion winning team. He's going to go down as one of our immortals. And yeah, that's it. Listen, it's going to be a weird old time when we're not talking about when we're talking about the Saints team, sorry, without James Roby in it.
I don't think there's much else to say, Kev.
I feel like we've been quite sad here because we know it's coming to an end, and he's one of our greatest ever players, And some people will say that he's our greatest ever. And listen, the balance for that is probably age and who you've seen. Because others will say, whether it be Murphy, whether it be Vol, whether it be, I don't know, Corelius, George Nichols, all them players of yesteryear. Others might say Sean Long, Kieran Cunningham, Paul Wellens. But because it's coming to an end, I feel we've been quite sad, and we should be looking back on his career. And we will do, I'd imagine, towards the end of this season if he confirms it, and really celebrate him this year. We should have James Roby Day. One of the games this year should be James Roby Day. If he does, or whenever the season that he does actually say, this is it, this is me going, we should have James Roby Day.
Yeah, you're kind of right, Kev. It feels like we've just done a little bit of a eulogy for James. But I think it's important that he knows just how much he means to us.
Yes, how much we love him.
I was going to say have James Roby Day on the 9th of the 9th, which obviously September. The last Super League round is round 27 at home to Toulouse on the 3rd of September. So potentially we could be playing on the 9th of the 9th in a playoff tie if we don't get that week off. But if we do get that week off, maybe we should have a celebratory evening for him.
Yeah, we should do. Definitely.
But yes, I'm glad he's in our team, and I wouldn't back against us going 4 in a row with him, leading us to glorious captain, first one in Super League history, and it'd be quite fitting if that is how he decides to end.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just gutted it. It's coming to an end, mate.
Still younger than us as well. How bad is that?
Yeah, no.
See, if he'd have used his brain and hadn't decided to be a world-class rugby league player, he could have been sat here like us with another 40 years of his career ahead of him.
40 years is pushing it, isn't it?
Oh, no, it's not hard doing these
Well, true, yeah.
Zoom videos. Right, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And we'll catch you tomorrow for the big man on Red V TV. Catch you soon.